Welcome to June's Energy Update. My name's Hayley Barkler. My apologies for a croaky voice. I have been sick the last week, and so I'm just still recovering, so bear with me this month, but I want to get this out in a timely fashion. What they've said is that as the frequencies continue to raise on the across the globe, the hidden patches, the valleys, the tunnels, the unseen is becoming more concentrated in their collective force. So they feel this need to retreat and to realign. And although that might be seen in the public as they're becoming ever more powerful, it's actually not the case. So there's this limited spectrum that we as a collective humanity see, and we're quite narrow-minded in that view. That's sort of what attracts all of our attention. We can't hold a broader perspective as a collective. We're being told that essentially the narrow view of humanity's attention at the moment is health and wealth. And they were said that that's been coded for my audience because they know the rules. So hopefully you understand what that means. But this narrow window of reality is just on this edge of the collective human conscious shield. And that once we turn our heads back in as a collective into the center, we'll see that there's such an expanse and beauty that can't be ignored once glimpsed. And that's where we find ourselves now. We really are at that sort of duality, divisive moment. And it says that this element of divisions has to be played out in the collective consciousness. That's not just going to disappear. It has to find its own resolution. So we're going to see that continuing to form and can happen, which is why this, the darker side appears more powerful right now. So just be conscious of that it's all in the plan, so to speak, but it's not going to disappear without sort of coming to its resting place. And despite the division that has to play out, those that are ready to see, hear, and experience more can do so now. So there's no limit to the human expression, and this is the time to find the inner relationship to the source of who you truly are. So there's a very clear message from them to say that we do not need to wander in the path of another, and that our path isn't lit by the collective consciousness. We hold our own lantern. So it's time to get out of self-denial about that and use our wise minds to really walk that path right now. That we are all creative intelligence. So you will, and this is their message, believe it to see it. You will all be present in the end of time, and you have all been birthed at the beginning. There is nothing that separates the smallest from the largest personality, the tallest from the smallest, or the sublime from the sheer horrific. You are all one expanse of space, functioning as a collective whole through the eye of a needle. And they use this reference point to eye of a needle in that we are each our own square of the tapestry, and we see that tapestry through our own needle, through our own lens. And it just depends on how big our needle hole is as to how much of that tapestry we allow ourselves to see. We can't not participate in the whole collective. That's not possible. We are part of that interwoven thread, but we choose to see how much we want to see. So these are the 5 survival tips they've given us for June. And number 1 is be deliberate in your actions. Choose to be present in all your undertakings. Don't linger in doubt or confusion for too long. Make clear choices from your heart on the basis of service versus sacrifice. And for those, it's easy for us to sit there and go, oh, just really feel into your heart and make the choice from there, listen to your heart. For me, I channel a lot of my deeper questions and deeper knowings that I need for my own life, and that's great for me, but not everyone has that ability or has developed that ability, let's say. So in the meantime, one trick that I got taught just this week, I am a big fan of kinesiology. And I've been shown a few different ways of muscle testing in the past, but I've never really felt like I could override that. And I know people use pendulums as well for, testing things. I never really felt like that gave me a really true answer. But this one did, so hold with me. I'm going to show you. So I'll just pop that back for a second. Stand up, relax your body, and hold your hands over your heart, and I close my eyes because I just need to. But ask yourself the question that you need answered. Sit with that question and let your body respond. Now, at some point, your body will either rock back for no or rock forward for yes. And I've just found that particularly in this last week when I have been sick and not so clear in my head, that's been really good for me to be able to grasp some answers that I needed for myself. So give that a go. It's been really helpful. Okay, number 2, be kind to all other humans, and they say all other humans. So the challenges that we face, this will go down in history right now as the division of opinion. And this is what's actually causing the calamity that we're seeing. It's not so much what's happening to us, it's this pure division, this pure duality that's obviously playing out, as you know, that's quite obvious. And we're being reminded that we need to fall under this all-encompassing compassion for the difference that we're experiencing, and being made very clear, not one soul is right. And they've made that twice. No one soul is right, because we all have our own truths. But what we need to do is vibrate along or move in circles, however you want to interpret that, with people that obviously emanate your light, emanate your vibration, that make you feel good, because your truths align. But be humble and accepting of those whose truths don't align to you, because, as they say, at the end of the day, you're all part of eternal creation, and you'll all be meeting at the bar for a drink at the end. So just remember, this is a game. This is the game of life, and enjoy it by holding true to yourself, and embracing everyone else. Everyone's here for their own reason and to learn their own lessons. Okay, number 3. All mirrors are reflecting our collective pain. So what that's saying is that don't allow ourselves to become overwhelmed with pain and persecution in June. And there's a lot of collective pain resonating out into the field. And we need to be really clear about whether that pain is ours or whether that is the collective. And, you know, great technique is the one that to use about making actions quickly and succinctly, is to really, you know, hold, you know, if you're feeling pain or confusion, worry, sit with it and go, is this mine or is this collective? And see what response you get from there. If you get a very clear response that it's the collective, being given this visualization of, like, I always say close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes, whatever. So hold this vision of a bubble of peace going to the center of that collective pain. So name it. So whether that's guilt or confusion or shame or, you know, whatever's going on from that pain that you're feeling, put that out into the collective bubble and then walk away. Don't think about it again. So what they've said is that right now there's not many of us that actually need to be holding and working with that collective pain, and that will actually be detrimental down the track. People are needing to spend, majority of people are needing to spend more time on working on their own individual healing and individual growth than trying to put their efforts towards the collective growth. So just be mindful of that in June. My voice is really going. Okay, so number 4 is be available for miracles. This is the time of the veil thinning, and we're going to be reminded of this with regularity, ongoing, so of the gifts and gratitude that we have coming towards us. So what all eyes on earth have, I'm so sorry, what all eyes on earth have is this excitement for the openness that's to come on earth. And when I say all eyes, I mean galactically. So there is nothing more that they, as a collective, wish to experience than direct contact and exposure. Be present and alert to the ways that you'll be shown this in the starting phases. So what you're being asked now is to check your periphery, see if you notice things. They've said be mindful of the waking part of your dreams, and they laughed, and that's a topic for another day. Obviously, dreams is another point for discussion. Be aware of the strange sounds you may hear and the odd motions you may make. So notice your body. Your body can respond to energy without you realizing it. For me, I do a lot of hand gestures when I meditate. But watch if your body nods, bows, your head turns, just little things that your body can do, twitching. Just take note in this time. So they're just saying, you are now prepared for initial contact as a collective. You will see more and more stories becoming mainstream in the next 3 to 4 months. So we'll just watch out for that. And the last one is chaotic contraction. So this was sort of touched on in the first part, that everything's becoming more concentrated efforts, less is more. So this change momentum will be felt. So there'll be less about, and it sort of came up in the mirrors part, but as far as we can't wrap our hearts in cotton wool anymore. So there'll be more, rather than individual complexity and individual pain, there's going to be more group, and I don't mean full collective, I mean sort of smaller group consciousness coming out. So you might see that in communities, in cities, around the globe, rather than this massive global sort of thing. But just watch how things contract in certain regions, in certain communities. It might be in your school or your workplace. But just take note of that. There's sort of this chaotic contraction that's going to happen. So just be mindful for that. And it's because that we need to have this self-expression as resilient, intelligent, love-seeking beings that have survival and growth at their core. So anything that's constricting that is going to sort of band together. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there this month. What they've said here is that we have come here today to show you the shift that is upon you. Be ready for great openings, great awakenings, and great creatings. You have graduated, dear ones. You have moved to the next level of the game. Have an awesome month. Hopefully I'll be better soon and I can do some more videos for you. If not, I will see you in July. Bye.